Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. PINDANDAM, the 10 systems of the perfect human body. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature, with which the perfect objects are designed and created. Pindandam Brahmandam Ekam. This is ancient Indian statement which means the human body and the universe are identical. We are the microcosmic representation of the macrocosmic universe or the divine nature. And that is what is Divyank, and that is what Pindandam is, that we have already shown Brahmandam, a universe or microcosmic, a spiral galaxy designed with Divyank, rectangle. Now human body is designed with Divyank, and let's now prove the point. As I've been saying, that we, the human beings, are the creation, are a bunch of atoms, elements, molecules, compounds, cells, tissues, organs, 10 organ systems, and perfect organism. And the 10 organ systems are designed for our normal physiological functions called homeostasis. Skeleton system is 206 bones. Let's first enumerate, then we'll explain that in detail. One, skeleton system. Second, muscular system. Third, skin and excretory system. Fourth, digestive system. Fifth, respiratory system. Sixth, endocrine system. Seventh, blood and immune system. Then eighth, cardiovascular system. Then reproduction system. And finally, the nervous system. Now, if you look at the whole sequence, is also designed the way nature has actually designed in a very systematic stages of 10 developments. Let me start with the vital statistics of a perfectly designed human skeleton. Head to the navel, which is a core value of organs of the body, where all the vital organs are stored, is 38.1966. Navel to the soul, which is a periphery or dynamic aspect, is made of 61.8034. This is one side which has one time. But between head to heart, 25%, heart to tailbone, 25%, tail to knee, 25%, nail to soles, another 25%. If this design, if you have, you are perfectly designed with Divyank. I'm not saying that others are imperfect, but this is the ideal design. Perfect. Now the human skeleton, as I told you, has 206 bones. And as I also told you earlier, the head and face are 22 bones. And they contain all the vital thinking process of brain and all the vital organs, including senses, in the head and face. They're designed with the first Brahmank itself. 22 bones, out of which 21 are fixed and one mandible is free. Why mandible is free? Because it's able to give expression to all what we are thinking in the brain. Lovely. Then vertebral column has got 30 bones. Chest cage has got 25. Put together there are 77 bones in axial system. Meaning core is made of 77 bones. Periphery is made of 126 bones. Both arms 64 bones. Both legs 62. Put together one. Now 126 by 77. Shakti by Shakta are peripheral to the coaxial. Core is again Divyank ratio. Is it a coincidence or the divine design? If you are perfect, it should be like that only. So that way, nature is phenomenal. So our ancient sages were really knowledgeable to make such statement, Pindandam Brahmandam Ekam. Lovely. The human muscular system is made of three different types of muscles: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac. Why did nature design three muscles like a trinity? Because skeletal muscles were designed in such a way they are used to fetch all the requirements of the body from the market, cook in that, and feed into the body. So from that point of view, I think but it's also interesting. Skeletal muscle use glucose for glycolysis and get minimum. And that is also nature designed that these muscles can be misused for being violent against other innocent people, should be given minimum power. Smooth muscles, after ingestion of the food, how digestion assimilation takes place and converted into usable items for the cell is done by smooth muscles, and they have a larger purpose to work. So they have been given 1.6180 times more power than skeletal muscles. And they work with the autonomic nervous involuntary conduct as a unit. And examples are eyes, blood vessels, lymph nodes, uterus, respiratory tract, urinary tract, and digestive system. These are all vitals to make sure whatever we have eaten is used, whatever is required is used effectively for perfect human life. The cardiac muscles have been given 2.25 times more power than skeletal muscles, and they use fatty acids, and they work in involuntary under autonomic nervous system, and they also have synchronicity, contraction as unit. But since they use fatty acid, the production of pyruvic acid, lactic acid, which we get from glucose, is not there. We have abundant. So as a result, there is no fatigue to the cardiac muscles. And from the time they made to time they die, they continue to go on working without taking any rest. And it is primarily nature designed that to give you fatty acids and structure in such a way that we can survive. So that way, hats off to the nature, the way it has developed all systems in a systematic way. We have evolved to that stage beautifully. We should be thankful to nature for giving us such a lovely body. We should take care of it and make optimum use so that every vital function is automatically taken, and we can use the rest of the time for making optimum use of spiritual world for self as well as others. Integrated human nervous system is designed everywhere. Like you have a central nervous system, you have peripheral nervous. Central nervous system is made of the brain and spinal cord. Peripheral is motor and sensory. Sensory bring the information, motor give you. Motor is further divided in autonomic and voluntary motor system. Autonomic is again into sympathetic and parasympathetic. Parasympathetic into cranial parasympathetic and sacral parasympathetic. But this up to this is covered by almost everyone without any exception. But there is one thing which everybody has missed. There is a fourth level of nervous system which I have not given importance, and that is pacemakers in the heart, uterus, digestive system. They are indirectly controlled by autonomic nervous system, and then motor system, peripheral system to the nervous system. So you can call it, this is something which again I'm glad I'm able to put it. We should cover this, also teach this from school, college to the universities as an integrated human nervous system, not small part. But most of the medical students whom I have taught neurosciences, they say that nervous system is the most difficult system. For their convenience, for understanding, let me put it on record. Anterior part of the spinal cord and the brain is a sensory in nature. Posterior dorsal root ganglion, ascending tract to temporal region, occipital region, as well as parietal, they are all sensory. They go up posteriorly. And front is a motor. Frontal lobe to the anterior part of the spinal cord is this. All descending tracts are motor, ascending tracts are this, absolutely. But reason they forget about or find it difficult is there are a lot of hodgepodge the way we put it, we don't even say. Internal things are the more primitive, and what is added later in evolutionary process is placed externally. What's so special to the human body will be placed externally. That is something which I want everybody to understand. Beside that, I like to put it on cross. This autonomic nervous system has got a reflection in the brain in insular cortex, and same thing is reflected in the middle, in the lateral horns, which are central part, which carry autonomic nervous system. Now, to make that very clear, let's go to the next slide. It is said there are 8 lobes according to medical books. That is it: frontal motor 2, parietal sensory 2, occipital 2, and temporal auditory 2. There are 8 lobes. That's what every book talks about it. But according to Divyank, there should be 10 lobes. The 10th lobe, which has been missed by everybody, is actually insular cortex, which is in the middle, covered by this, and people have not given. Since it has got central autonomic nervous system control, it has not been given important, but I think it should be given much more important, because without autonomic nervous system proper understanding, will not be able to make optimum use of negative as the positive feedback mechanism to make ourselves healthy. To prove that insular cortex is the middle as a 10th lobe important, I am giving an example, scientific evidence of central autonomic nervous system in spinal cord. Cervical has no autonomic representations. So as a result, there are no lateral horns. Thoracic T1 to T12 and lumbar L1, L2. From there, fibers for sympathetic system arise. They arise from lateral horn cells between T1, T12, and then L1, L2 only. And then from sacrum, you have the sacral parasympathetic fibers arising from S2, S3, S4. Is this a coincidence or design? This is what it is and this is what should be taught, so that the student find it interesting and they don't have to mug. Give them visual thing as they move up, come down, things away. It's like a beautiful automation we can create. And that's what I've been doing, and they find it very, very interesting. And this is what I wanted to share with the audience here too. Now, there's another thing which I feel at this particular juncture, which I found very, very interesting, was the divine design of human traits. Deciduous, temporary, milky traits. Up to 7 years, there are 10 up, 10 down, 20 teeth only. Canine, 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 molars. Into 4 is 20. But adult permanent teeth are 32. 16 up, 16 down. Is the ratio of 16 by 10 or 32 by 20 coincidence? No. This is divine. This is Divyank. Nothing other than that. You find here also the same application. Now, when come to the number of roots between incisor, canine, premolar and molar, also follows the Divyank sequence only. 1, 1, 2, 3. Is it a coincidence? As again, nature has a design, and it just applies the same design everywhere to produce a perfect ones. If it's a deviation, this means something has gone wrong. Let's not let's not try to overemphasize on disease model. Let's emphasize on perfect model so that we can be healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy. Perfect smile and middle incisors of upper are designed in Divyank ratio only. So if you have beautiful smile, 2 things, it is only because of Divyank ratio teeth only. Lovely. Digestive system, they normally say prime function is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and defecation. But according to Divyank, prime function is continuous supply of water, nutrient, electrolyte, and other vital elements for integrated homeostasis and health alone, where other things are executive functions. This is point which I want to make it clear. Prime function of digestive system is for homeostasis and health, for water, nutrient, electrolyte, and other vitals. Okay, and from mouth to this is a one-way traffic called peristaltic movement. This everybody knows, we need not much discuss about it. Then RBCs are formed with the perfect Divyank design only. Pluripotent stem cells, which are the stem cells, they are of 21 micron size. And cometid progenitor is 22 microns. As I told you, each cell has got 21 parts. And it is centrosome which becomes 2 centrioles to become 22. And that's what happens in first stage of creation in RBCs. 21 parts become 22. 21 micron size also becomes 22. And then they go through 10 stages of development only. to form the mature RBC. In the process, this picture is standard picture which everybody is aware of, is from internet. And with the permission of everybody is viewed so that people can use the standard pictures to understand better. Now, highlights of this is size changes from 20 microns to 22 microns during first stage. Size reduces from 21 microns to 7 microns, that means by 3 times in development stage. Volume of stem cell is equivalent to 900 cubic microns. Volume of mature cells is 90, is 1/10 reduction in volume 2. Shape also changes from irregular to biconcave. Blue color changes to red colors. Each stem cell gives rise to 10,000 red blood cells. And duration of red blood cells are formed in 21 days. All these coincidences are divine design of nature, which shows how RBC itself can be a good example for. And there are many more secrets in RBC. For example, why all the organelles are replaced by hemoglobin only, and mitochondria and others are not there. So as a result, RBCs can live only for 120 days. Why it has happened, why does it, we will discuss in detail later. A hint is there that cell has to have only 38.1966% solid and remaining water. And hemoglobin itself is 35 grams. That means 35%. It cannot give space for other organelles to be there. So they had to be replaced because prime function of RBC is to carry oxygen for the vital function of the cells. Now, respiratory system, students are taught it's an exchange, prime function is exchange of gases. It's not true. According to Divyank, prime function of respiratory system to absorb oxygen from the atmosphere and expulsion of 61.8034% carbon dioxide only. Remaining carbon dioxide is retained in the body for the formation of hydrochloric acid in the stomach and kidneys. And this will also make you think why only 61, because inspiration lasts for 38.1966% of the time. Expiration lasts for 61.803. Only during that much percentage can be good. And even the neurons response in the brain stem with respect to respiration, inspiration and expiration is also follows Divyank only. And left lung has there are 2 lobes, right lung 3 lobes. There are so many mysteries in respiratory system also, which center only on Divyank. So anything which is vital has to be designed with Divyank is something which I would like to emphasize at this stage. So later we will elaborate much more. Cardiovascular system is also designed with this. And one question which I invariably ask the medical student, what's the difference between artery and a vein? They say arteries carry oxygenated blood and vein carry deoxygenated. And I say pulmonary artery also does not carry oxygenated, carry deoxygenated. So the right answer we should give from school, college to the university is the arteries carry blood from heart to the periphery and vein carry from periphery to heart. As a result, there will not be any confusion. My idea of making impeccable wisdom is this: let's teach perfect things from the day one so that unlearning and relearning is not required. Here also the same story. Excretory system is again what is the waste product has to be expelled. The structure I will not talk about it. Again, bean structure is in Divyank ratio. But the one point which I would highlight here is the science of limiting pH of urine, which is 4.5. That means your normal pH is 7.4 divided by 4.5 is equivalent to Divyank 1.61, or 4.5 divided by 7.4 will be equivalent to 61.80. Is this a mere coincidence or follow? And this is what I'm trying to see everywhere. It is Divyank sequence or Divyank otherwise. And that's what I'm trying to, if you remember this, you will have you will presume, you will know what exactly to expect out of this. Endocrine system is again 10 system. Pineal gland to hypothalamus to anterior pituitary gland, posterior pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, then thymus in the lungs, pancreas, adrenal gland, and reproductive endocrine systems. Is this then also is a coincidence or divine design? Because everything, nature has to follow the same thing over and over so that there is a consistency, there is a perfection. Reproductive system we have already discussed in detail. I'll not go into that. And I told you the perfect human menstrual cycle is designed with Divyank Sequence. As a result, I have shown it that all what we have been teaching from school, college to the university and research throughout the world is highly defective thing. They have missed so many important things, particularly vital part of 3 days before the bleeding period when actually menstrual cycle starts, and its association with the lunar ascending and descending phases is also amazing, for which I would like you to see the original video of that. Now, I coming to the end. I think, as a nutshell, I've just introduced 10 systems, keeping in mind Divyank ratio, Divyank sequence in mind, so that people know how beautiful is human body, how it is almost like Brahmandam, a universe, a spiral galaxy, and what is the consistent design with which the entire thing is made. And this should be more than any enlightening subject for anyone who is truly interested to understand nature and make optimum to live a perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy life. So thank you very much for kind listening and encouraging.